Hello, friends. Pastor Bill Walden here with Build Up the Church. I pray that you're doing super well in life and enjoying the life that God has given you. And if you don't know Him yet, you've come to the right place. That's a great desire of mine, is to share Jesus with people and to show people how reasonable it is and how wise it is and how good it is to have a relationship with God and to know Jesus Christ. So glad you're here. This is a devotional word for May 11th, 2024, and this is out of the Gospel of John chapter 5. In John chapter 5, in the first part, Jesus healed a man at a place called the Pool of Bethesda, and it's a place that's been rediscovered, if you will, through archaeology. And you can go to this very place. It's described very clearly in the Gospel of John. And archaeologists have found this place, and you can go to Jerusalem today and see where this chapter took place. And so it was a place where people went to get healed. And you can read the story, John chapter 5. There was a man that couldn't be healed, according to the story, by the expected methods. And so Jesus found him and healed him. And as a result, the man had been paralyzed 38 years and had been laying on a mat. And Jesus said, "Pick up your mat and walk." The trouble with that was, according to the religious rulers of Jerusalem, that it happened on the Sabbath day. And so on the Sabbath day, you're not allowed to do any work. Now, they had so distorted God's intention regarding the Sabbath that it made them want to murder people. God said, the seventh day is the Sabbath day for the nation of Israel. Keep it holy. Don't do any work on that day. Well, they began to, debate and argue, and what does that mean, not to do any work? And it even came to the place where they said, well, if you have false teeth and you wear your false teeth on the Sabbath, you're carrying a burden. Or if you accidentally have a needle in the hem of your garment, you're carrying a burden. And depending on what mood they were in, I guess, they were willing to stone people and kill them. And so it was just crazy. God intended it for rest, and they turned it into something of a burden that people couldn't relax and, do normal things. Anyway, Jesus healed this guy on the Sabbath. And the guy eventually told the Jewish leaders, "It was Jesus who healed me." We pick up the story, John chapter 5, verse 16. For this reason, the Jews persecuted Jesus and sought to kill him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus is going to try to reason with them. But Jesus answered them, "My Father has been working until now, and I have been working." Therefore the Jews sought all the more to kill him, because he not only broke the Sabbath according to them, but he also said that God was his Father, making himself equal to be God. Now there's a lot of people today that say Jesus was not God. He was a good man. He was a teacher. He was a prophet. All these other things. Organizations such as the Mormon Church, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and a lot of other people say that Jesus never claimed to be God, but here clearly there's a situation where he's making himself equal with God. He understands what he's saying. The Jews understand what he's saying, and they want to kill him, and he knows it, and he's not backing down on that. He's not trying to get out of that statement and say, "Oh, excuse me, I misspoke," or "I meant something else," or no, you're misunderstanding me." He didn't change any of it. He's claiming to be God. Once again, verse 18, therefore the Jews sought all the more to kill him, because he not only broke the Sabbath, but also said that God was his Father, making himself equal with God. Then Jesus answered and said to them, most assuredly I say to you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do, whatever he does, the Son also does in like manner. So he's connecting himself with God the Father. Jehovah would be the name for the understanding of God in the Old Testament. Verse 20, for the Father loves the Son, shows him all things that he himself does, and he will show him greater works than these, that you may marvel. In other words, Jesus is saying, if you're upset about this, my paraphrase, you haven't seen anything yet. Verse 21, for as the Father raises the dead and gives life to them, even so the Son gives life to whom he will. For the Father judges no one, but has committed all judgment to the Son. In the end, when we die and go stand before God, it is before Jesus that we will stand. And God the Father has given God the Son the authority to make those decisions. So Jesus is clearly equal with the Father. Jesus went on to say in verse 23 that all should honor the Son just as they honor the Father. Now, if you're going to say, I love God, but I don't like Jesus, you're supposed to love God and love Jesus, according to Jesus, the same way. Whatever honor that you have for the Son should be equal to the honor that you have for the Father. Clearly, Jesus is making himself equal with God the Father. He who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. Now, I kind of don't know what to say past that. Jesus clearly claimed deity in many places. His conversations with the religious rulers, they continually saw him as a blasphemer, and eventually they got their wish that he would be executed for what they considered blasphemy. They wanted to kill him. Of course, he didn't lose his life to them. He gave his life for us. But just in case you're a student of the Bible or perhaps another faith tradition or something like that, even, perhaps another Eastern philosophy or Eastern religion or Western religion or Western faith or any number of things at all. There's a lot of those groups that have kind of a respect for Jesus. They like Jesus. They enjoy the Sermon on the Mount. They love that he was kind and that he helped people and was just a cool guy, hung out with sinners and all those things. And I agree. All that was fantastic about Jesus. But you cannot, with any kind of intellectual integrity, say that he never claimed to be God, because he did. So if he claimed to be God and wasn't, then he was a liar. Or he was, had at least a narcissistic personality, a Messiah complex, we might say. But Jesus very clearly claimed to be God. If he was God, then he needs to be worshipped as God. He needs to be received as God. He needs to be honored as God. So, some things for you to think about regarding the person of Jesus. So, thanks for watching.